Chloe and I met about 8 years ago and quickly became friends. We both grew up in the Pacific Northwest, where we were devout community members. We enjoyed going to church every Sunday and making plans for our future. I was a successful architect with a promising future, and Chloe sold high-end medical devices for a major biotech corporation based in Seattle, Washington. Before we got married, my mom and dad bought me a 3-bedroom house. After I graduated from college, they made a lot of money and wanted to share their success with others while they were still alive. Most people pass on their earthly possessions when they die, never being able to enjoy the happiness of the gifts they can give during their lifetime. Mom and dad shared their blessings while they were still alive and enjoyed their shared happiness. Chloe, I got married a little over 6 years ago and have been on a perpetual honeymoon ever since. Our sex life was great, and we made love at least 5 nights a week. We were soulmates, and all our friends were sick of how close and loving we were to each other. We were lucky enough to give birth to 2 beautiful blonde twin girls, and after their birth, our lives changed for the better. We devoted all our time to raising the girls and making sure they had a loving home. We had a lifestyle that others might consider boring. We ate at home. Most evenings went out on Friday and Saturday nights and went to church on Sunday. We were not interested in social life and fashion like other people our age. Chloe wore conservative clothes at work and at home and indulged in anything sexual. For my eyes only in our bedroom. Our relationship was based on trust and complete transparency. We never hid anything from each other, which served as a strong foundation for our marriage. Chloe was one of those women who needed to show her an affection and I love the way she lovingly touched me, kissed me, and hugged me. We enjoyed sharing our feelings with each other and enjoyed each other immensely. Raising twins can be stressful, but I enjoyed being with them as much as possible. The twins were a little stressful for Chloe, but I was happy to take advantage of any weakness and help. We had a great partnership and always worked things out before either of us got upset. Life couldn't be better with Chloe and my twin girls. A week before the annual exhibition, Chloe was notified that they needed her to participate in the 4-day event due to others getting sick with the virus. They had to put Chloe on the show. Of course, she tried to get out of it, but they were desperate, and she had no choice. Baby, I'm so sorry about this. I hate leaving you and the girls for 4 days. I called my boss twice and tried to get out of it, but he said he needed us all at this event. You know how much I hate leaving. I watched her pack for the trip and reassured her that we would be fine for a few days and that we would miss her. But we were there to support her. I helped her with her luggage and carried it to the limo the company had hired for the ride to the airport. Like I said, we had a perfect marriage and I trusted her completely. I have never seen her flirt or act anything other than the perfect loving wife we had a completely transparent marriage, and we told each other everything. We shared our love for our children and did everything together. This is why the text I received from my colleague and friend was difficult to believe and process. It was the second night of the show when I received a message from my colleague Liam, who was at a cybersecurity event in Seattle. Washington. Ethan, how's your weekend going, mate? I enjoy my girls. Chloe is at the exhibition, and here I am spending time with my favorite girls. Aren't you at the security conference this weekend? This is true. You said Chloe was at a trade show, right? Do you know which one? Well, yes. It's in Seattle. Washington this week, but I'm not sure about the name of the exhibition. Her company displays its products at the convention center. Why did you ask? I'm having dinner with my group, and why are you sitting? This is true. What are you? Trying to tell me, Liam?" His message came with 2 photos and a video. I sat frozen with fear. The first photo was of my wife in an outfit I had never seen before. It was the shortest dress I've ever seen. The Sping neckline showed off her. Massive breasts, pumps I didn't even know existed. Her hair and makeup were flawless, and she looked stunning. In fact, I have never seen her look so sexy in my life when I saw the first photo. I was convinced that it was a similar woman, like someone who looked like Chloe, but it couldn't possibly be her. I laughed to myself, thinking I wish Chloe would dress like that someday, but that's not my wife. I stopped laughing when the next photo came out, which was a close-up of her, sitting very close, and kissing next to Marcus, one of her bosses she worked with. I sat there in shock, not moving, not even blinking, until the next photo appeared. It was another close-up of her smiling and looking into Marcus's eyes. My heart stopped when I saw this message, but I tried to convince myself that there was a good explanation. Until a few minutes later, when the next message arrived. It was a short video of my wife kissing Marcus with her arms around his neck and his hand on her right breast. That's when my head exploded at that moment. I felt my whole world collapse on me. Tears of pain rolled down my face as my heart raced and I felt nauseous. A message has arrived. Friend, are you okay? What should I do? Can you see her right now? Yes, I'm going to call her right now and just check on her. I dialed her number and heard the phone ring several times before it went to voicemail. I left her a message saying we missed her and just wanted to talk to. Make sure she had a good night. I called Liam. I just called her. What did she do? Ethan, I'm so sorry about this. She took her phone out of her purse, looked at the caller ID, and then put it back in her purse. Man, I can't believe it's her. I mean, I've never seen her act or dress like that, Ethan. I never realized how hot your wife was. Sorry, that's not what. And does a no halter by. I meant it's okay, Liam. Thank you for sharing this with me and not hiding it from me. You are a good friend. I'll figure it out, and you don't need to interfere. If possible, do not show your face to her. Let me know if anything else happens. But don't waste any more time following her, then I'll figure it out myself. My friend, are you going to be okay? No, I'm far from it. But I know what I have to do, and I'll take care of it. I'm still in shock, and it will take me a while to understand everything. But you know I will. Thanks again. My pleasure. I love you, buddy. I'm here for you. Take care of yourself. Liam, thanks again. I poured myself something stronger and sat in the dark living room, trying to understand how my world had collapsed in less than 20 minutes. I never had any idea there was a problem in our relationship. How long has this been going on? Was I really that stupid and didn't recognize the signs? No, she never gave me any reason to think that way. In fact, over the past 7 months, she has become more loving than ever. Our sex life doubled in intensity, and our relationship became stronger. It didn't make any sense, and I couldn't understand any of it over the next hour. Liam sent more photos and videos. There was a short video, one of them dancing with his hand on her ass. Another short video of them kissing on the dance floor, and another photo of them kissing deeply in private on a deserted dance floor. I realized that they must have been kissing so passionately that they didn't notice the music had stopped. I knew it was over between us, but I still had so much to learn and understand. Being an architect and a problem solver, I went into analytical mode and spent the next few days trying to come up with a plan. Surprisingly, Chloe called me at 11 p.m. After their last photo arrived, I took a deep breath and tried to regain my composure. I wasn't going to give anything away or let her know that I had any idea what she was doing. "Hello, dear. Sorry I missed your previous call. I was in a dinner meeting and couldn't speak. I miss you so much, baby, and I wish I could be there with you under the covers, kissing all of you. I miss you too, Chloe. I love. Thank you so much, and thank you for calling. The girls are so cute, and I will send you some photos. They miss their mom and want you to come home. I tried to leave tomorrow, but my boss told me that I should stay here. I hate being away from you. Darling, we'll celebrate when you get home. Are you done for today?" "Yes, I'm getting ready for bed and another long day of work. I love you, baby, and I will call you tomorrow. Good night, Chloe. I love you more than you can imagine." And I hung up the phone as my tears started flowing again. What I said was true. I loved her more than life itself, and wanted this to be a bad dream. It was already past midnight when I was lying in bed and could not sleep. I wondered if she was really in her hotel room and what she was doing. My question was answered when I received another message from Liam. It was a photo of my wife, Chloe, and Marcus on a sofa in what looked like a hotel lobby. It was a photo of them kissing his port. Hand was tucked under her short skirt, and her arms were wrapped around his neck. They looked like two newlyweds, sharing their love in public, so to speak. "And one last thing, buddy. I'm done for today, but it looks like she'll be busy. Let me know if you want me to stop. I can break it off quite easily right now. It's hard to see, but thank you for these photos. No, let her go. It's all her fault and you don't need to get involved. Let it go. Thanks again." I cried until I fell asleep, knowing that the love of my life had betrayed me. Our marriage vows and our girl's sleep finally took away the pain and tears until I woke up the next morning. There were several loving me messages from Chloe with hearts, kisses, and emojis. She confessed her love and said how much she missed me and the girls. She told me to get ready for a wild night of sex. When she returned, she acted so sweet and loving, as if nothing had happened. Started to wonder if maybe she had a dissociative disorder and didn't know what she was doing. Maybe she was drugged with something. I searched for answers but realized I had to face the facts and plan ahead. She was due home in a few days, and I needed to deal with all of this. We talked several times a day, and everything was fine. She kept telling me how much she missed all of us and wanted to go home. I wasn't sure what angered me more. Was it because she cheated and was with another man? Or was it because she cheated and lied? She took me for a fool, and it hurt as much as seeing her kiss Marcus after Liam's messages and the revelation that my wife had made me her cuckold. I took action since I was the tech guru in the family. I added some software to her phone that allowed me to find the phone if it ever got lost. Of course, I bought the latest software on the market and installed it, and even explained to Chloe how to use it. This software package also included a voice recorder for recording voice, text, and email with automatic upload to the cloud if activated. Let me be clear, I didn't install this software on my phone to spy on her, but it turned out to be useful. Before last night, I would never have thought to look into any of her personal belongings. But after last night, my trust will never be the same. I had to protect the girls and save our marriage if possible. Fortunately, the girls kept me busy and distracted me from thoughts about my crumbling marriage. Making breakfast, cleaning up after them, and playing with dolls with them was something I loved and cherished. I'm not sure if you've ever had to take care of 4-year-old twins, but let me tell you, it's quite a workout. It was 3 p.m. and I finally got the girls to take their afternoon nap. I showered and cleaned up the house before sitting down at the table to catch up. Chloe sent me 6 more loving messages and said she would call me at 6 p.m. after they were done for the day. After reading them, I accessed the cloud from my laptop, logged into her account, and looked at everything that had been downloaded since I activated the recording spyware. Shoot this down. I sat in shock as I read the messages being sent to Marcus. Here are a few of them. You were amazing last night, baby. I can't wait to be together again tonight. Thank you, kitten. I liked it too. Can we go back to my room after we finish before dinner? Absolutely, but I need to call my husband before we go. I should be ready by 6:15. Does hubby have any idea about us? Of course not. He knows I love him, and I'll make sure he keeps thinking that what we do is something he never needs to know about. We've kept it a secret for over 7 months, and he has no idea I know how to handle him. Don't worry. I had to stop reading because my anger was becoming all-consuming. Kitten? Did he call her kitten? That's what I called her when we made love. Did she give him that too? Was I really that stupid and had no idea? What kind of fool was I? I dropped my laptop on a chair, jumped up, and screamed. I grabbed a lamp from the table and threw it forcefully into the wall, breaking it into 1,000 pieces. The anger I had learned to control now took over. I was about to break another lamp when I heard the girls crying. Their cries brought me back to my senses, and I immediately regained control. I went into their bedroom and held both girls in my arms until they stopped crying and calmed down. I let them play in the living room while I sat down with another strong drink after cleaning up all the glass from my temper tantrum. In my opinion, the marriage was over. It was time to take action. I didn't have the willpower to listen to any more of their conversations or look at other downloaded files, so I just let them accumulate in the cloud. I decided the best course of action was to play along with Chloe, just as she was playing with me. I intended to act like a loving husband while I formulated my plan. My immediate goals were to contact a divorce lawyer, hire a private investigator, and figure out a way to maintain custody of the girls. They were my main concern and the only thing that mattered to me. Hi, baby. How are the girls doing? They miss their mommy. Oh my God. They are all I think about all day long. And of course, you too. I can't wait to hug you when I get home. I'm going to give you the warmest kiss you've ever received. I played along. Oh, baby, I think about you all day, and I can't wait to hug my loving, sexy wife. Soon, baby, we'll be together again. Somehow, I held it together, and the call lasted exactly 5 minutes. At 6:15, she ended the call, saying, I love you, Ethan. I need to go now. The bus is leaving for the hotel, and I have to go. I'll write to you later. I love you. Another easy lie. She was definitely good at it. I love you too, baby. More than you'll ever know. The pain of her lies and deceit was now replaced by contempt and anger. I was going to destroy this woman and make her pay for everything. I truly loved this woman with all my heart, and this was the hardest thing I have ever had to do. I met her at the airport, and she hugged and kissed me just as she promised. Either she was a world-class actress, or she really did love me that much, and was just using Marcus for sex. I continued to be confused by her antics. She spent an hour with the girls, enjoying being with them. That night in bed, she was overly affectionate, repeatedly telling me how much she missed us and hated being away. She said all she thought about was being with me like this, holding each other. She was gentle, loving, and completely different from the woman at the trade show. I was loving too, and I genuinely enjoyed being with her that way. It felt good, and I wanted it to be real. But I knew it would all be over soon. I never let on what I knew, giving her my love and satisfying her every night. Anyone who saw us would think we had the most amazing relationship. This continued for 4 months, and I tried to look for any signs of an affair, but there was nothing. She returned home from work at the same time every evening, with no unusual phone calls or text messages. I even thought that maybe it was all a mistake. Then, Mr. Evans, a private investigator, called and made an appointment for the next day. I drove downtown to his office and sat in the conference room. "Good afternoon, Ethan. Good to see you again." "It's good to see you, Mr. Evans." "Ethan, I wish I had nothing to report. I wish I could tell you that you were wrong, but unfortunately, I have bad news. Are you ready?" I sighed and said yes. I had hoped for the best, but knew what was really going on between Chloe and Marcus. Mr. Evans produced a thick leather 3-ring binder and placed it in front of me. There were several sections with tabs labeled text messages, voice transcripts, video calls, phone call transcripts, and photos. "Mr. Evans, before we go through this, I'm very confused. For the past 4 months, I've been closely monitoring her, and there's been nothing unusual. She's been the perfect wife and lover. Nothing makes sense. Well, let me walk you through this and see if anything clears up." I had stopped looking at the cloud files because my heart couldn't handle it. I had prayed for the best. Of course, that was not meant to be. There were more than 75 pages of text messages, 25 pages of emails, and 75 pages of time-stamped photos of them going in and out of hotel rooms together. There were over 82 video calls and 50 pages of phone conversations. Chloe and Marcus had been visiting a motel at least 5 times a week for the past 4 months. You could see their photos every day at 2 p.m. They spent an average of 2 hours together during each visit. It seems that for the past month, there have been 2 men visiting your wife 5 times a week. Do you recognize this man? Oh my God! Is this Julian Vance? Is he the CEO of her company? Are you saying she's cheating on me with 2 guys, and one of them is the CEO? Sorry to have to tell you this, but based on text messages, phone calls, and videos, he is clearly having a sexual relationship with your wife. The video labeled balcony actually captured him making love to your wife as she leaned over the railing. E-quote, "I think they felt untouchable and didn't realize they were being filmed. Our 8K video captured close-ups of their faces, and our audio captured them as well." He played the video on the 80-inch display. There was Chloe, my wife, leaning over the railing with her CEO standing behind her. I felt nauseous. I had to leave the room for a few minutes to recover. I went back into the conference room and forced myself to continue watching because now I wanted to see everything she was doing. The video marked Balcony 2 showed my wife with Julian and Marcus at the same time. I'm so sorry I have to show you all this, but since they were in public, you can use these videos if you decide to proceed with your divorce and custody battle. I sat there with my mouth open in amazement. I still found it hard to believe that it could be Chloe, and I prayed that this would all turn out to be one huge mistake. Ethan, we've looked into Marcus Wills and Julian Vance. We found the following. Marcus has been married for 11 years and has 4 young children. Mr. Vance has also been married for 26 years and has 3 grown children. The text messages reveal that Marcus brought Julian into their games after your wife said she wanted to try a threesome. It's getting pretty dark here, so I'll let you read when you're ready. Take the folder and this USB drive with all the files and videos. I'm sure your lawyer will need both. When I met with my lawyer, she was amazed at the amount of data we were able to gather and could not believe there were no signs of her adultery at home. She continued to act like a loving wife and mother, as if everything was completely normal. The lawyer said we have several actions we can take based on the files. She needed time to work through all of our options and scheduled an appointment for the following week. I told her to start filing the divorce papers as soon as possible. I left her office with a gaping hole in my stomach. I knew it was over before these meetings, but watching those videos ended any hope of reconciliation. Still confused, I asked myself, who was this woman? After the girls went to bed, we sat on the couch and watched an old movie I picked on Netflix called Unfaithful. I heard it was a good film. Let's give it a chance, I said, pressing play. Since the film was about cheating, I planned the conversation in advance. During the movie, I told Chloe that a girl in my office had been hitting on me for the past several months. Can you imagine me with another woman? I said, laughing. She looked at me with narrowed eyes. Really? Who? If I catch you even thinking about being with her, I'll leave. You understand? You belong to me and no one else, she said with a serious expression on her face. Even though I tried to remain cheerful, she wasn't fooling around. She made it clear she would not tolerate any deception. I couldn't believe how angry she was about this, how hypocritical one person can be. She was getting furious about a hypothetical situation while she was having sex with two men every day behind my back. Unreal. This is driving me crazy, Ethan. Why didn't you tell me about her before? What is her name? Chloe, relax. She's an intern. A young girl who loves to flirt. I completely ignored her. What about you, Chloe? You're the most beautiful woman in your office. Are you saying that no one flirts with you? Of course not. They all know I'm married and that I would never cheat on you. So, during our entire marriage, you never thought about being with another guy or did anything like that? I mean, even a friendly kiss? Have you ever cheated on me, baby? Now, she was truly angry. Are you kidding me? Did you really just ask me that? I constantly tell you how much I love you. I am always with you, and I could never think of being with another man. You're an ass. I can't believe you asked me this. I apologized, agreed with her, and we continued watching the movie. I smiled to myself, thinking she should have become an actress. She was so convincing that I almost doubted myself. No wonder she was so good at her job. After things had calmed down a bit, she pressed herself against my shoulder again, and I knew the time had come. I picked up my phone, opened the text app, and selected a photo of Chloe and Marcus kissing on the dance floor with his hand on her ass. I was looking at the photo when she noticed I was distracted. What are you doing, Ethan? Why aren't you watching the movie? Because what I'm looking at is more realistic. What are you talking about? I turned off the sound on the movie and showed her the photo. She froze. She tried to say something, but nothing came out. I sat there, still looking at the photo, and said, "Wow, what a sexy kiss you're giving Marcus. I can explain. Where did you get this photo? When you were having dinner with your boyfriend? Liam Stanton was in the same restaurant and saw you with that guy. He texted me to find out if it was really you. Well, it was you, and he sent it to me. I must say, you look incredibly sexy in that dress. I've never seen you in anything so short or revealing. I guess you wanted to impress your boyfriend. Oh, you were going to explain? I can't wait to hear this," I said, putting the phone back on my lap. "Baby, we only had one dance, and he was drunk. When the song ended, he grabbed me and kissed me. What you don't see is that right after, I slapped him and made a scene. I would never let that happen. I actually bought this dress for a business dinner, but didn't realize how revealing it was. I am so sorry. Oh, I understand. That can happen. And that was the only time this happened? I could tell she wasn't as confident as usual. Yes, baby, and he'll never do it again. The movie continued, and I sat back quietly, knowing Chloe was worried. After a few minutes, I took my phone and opened a video of them sitting on the couch, his hand up her skirt, and started watching. She looked at me with a frightened expression. "What are you looking at now? Remember that night when you called me and said you had a long day and were going back to your room to get ready for sleep?" "Yes," she whispered. "It's funny. Because..." And I got another text from Liam 2 hours after you called, and this time it was a video. "Do you want to take a look?" I said as I pressed play. The screen clearly showed her and Marcus kissing as his hands explored the hidden treasures that were supposed to be mine alone. "I can't wait to hear this new explanation," I said, smiling. My anger was gone, replaced by contempt and a dark amusement at her reaction. "Oh my God, Ethan, I am so sorry." After we got off the phone, Marcus called and said we needed to discuss a problem with one of the clients we were meeting in the morning. He asked me to come down to the lobby to prepare. I barely remember this video. I had a few drinks and got a little drunk. You know how I am when I'm drunk. I know the video looks bad, but nothing happened after that. I remember going up to my room. I told him to stop, that I was happily married, and I left. Nothing happened. You have to trust me. "That's part of the problem, kitten," I said, emphasizing the name. I saw her blink. "The problem is that I always believed you, but in the last 21 minutes, you've lied to me twice. Can you see it from my side?" I'm alone, and the love of my life is kissing her boss in 2 different videos while wearing the sexiest outfit she's ever owned. How do you think I feel, baby? "Ethan, I love you. This was 4 months ago. Why didn't you say anything earlier?" "Honestly, I wanted to see if you would tell me yourself." I wanted to believe my wife was as honest and transparent as we'd always been with each other. But now, I see how things are. Are you lying about anything else? Are you having an affair with him? Do you love him? I was toying with her now, enjoying her confusion. She started sobbing, repeating how much she loved me. "Chloe, please stop telling me you love me." "I'm sure you do, and I still love you. But that has nothing to do with these videos. I need to understand why. And is there anything else you're lying about?" I said, pressing the record button on my phone without her noticing. "Ethan, listen to me. Nothing happened. Yes, I kissed him like you saw, but that was it. And I told him to stop. I'm not sure what Liam saw or told you, but you have to believe me. Okay, stop crying, baby. I believe you. However, I'm confused by how you were dressed. You never wear anything like that for me, and you never do your hair and makeup like that. Did you do all that for him? You haven't answered my question. Do you love him? Do you want to leave me for him, Chloe? Please, I need to know the truth." The sobs resumed. "No, Ethan. I love only you. I never want to lose you. Nothing happened, and I don't know why I dressed like that. It's so unlike me. Maybe it was because all the other women were dressed similarly, and I wanted to fit in. I don't know for sure. I was a little insecure. I think I can understand that. It makes sense. But why didn't you tell me about Marcus and what happened? Since nothing really happened and I put an end to it, I didn't want to upset you. He's my boss, and I couldn't afford to lose my job. If something had actually happened, I would have told you right away. You know that. I kissed her and held her gently, letting her cry. This was just the beginning of a 2-month-long revenge plot. That night, we made love, and I enjoyed her skills with a detached mind, thinking of myself as just another one of her partners. I wasn't going to deprive myself of her body. Her performance was impressive. She was more passionate than ever, trying to convince me I was her only love. This continued for the next few weeks. Every night, her acting was flawless, and I just enjoyed the show. The next morning, I checked the cloud to see if she'd had any correspondence with Marcus. Of course, she did not disappoint. Oh my God, someone took photos of us at the show and sent them to Ethan. His friend was there and saw me. I'm not sure if he knows more, but the video showed us kissing. Holy, now that you mention it, I remember some guy with a phone watching us. What did Ethan do? Nothing. I convinced him nothing happened and that I stopped you. He has no idea I spent the night in your room. I blamed it on alcohol and made amends. He's easy to convince. A few kisses and good sex is all it takes. Be careful, baby. We're still on for tomorrow. Meet there at 2 p.m. as usual. Can't wait. I love you, baby. I love you too. Kitten. That was the last message. I sat in silence. Yes, I was the biggest idiot in the world, but revenge is a dish best served cold. I was going to enjoy Chloe's antics and see how many more lies she would tell. The first thing I did was secure my finances, transferring funds, closing joint accounts. I left my main Visa card open but lowered the limit to $2,500. Since Chloe had no idea how much I knew, she never suspected I would change anything. I confirmed with my lawyer that since the house was mine before the marriage, I wouldn't have to leave once she was served. Of course, I prepared the infamous email, the one with all the videos, texts, and photos, ready to be sent to all her friends, family, and work colleagues. I also created duplicate 3-ring binders for Mrs. Vance and Mrs. Wills, so they could share in the pain. Everything would go out at the same time the divorce papers were filed. Number 6. I asked my lawyer to prepare public civil lawsuits against both Marcus, her boss, and Julian Vance, the CEO. Since Viridian Dynamics was one of the largest biotech corporations on the West Coast, my lawyer was thrilled to have the CEO involved. We were going to make them a settlement offer before going public with how the company's CEO and managers were sexually harassing their employees. We also worked with Child Guardian Services attorneys to obtain full custody of the girls and prepared all the necessary documents for the investigation. Over the next few weeks, everything seemed normal. We spent time with the children every day, went to dinner, and discussed everything while avoiding the elephant in the room. I'm sure my silence on the matter drove her crazy. Not knowing what I was thinking must have been exhausting. I decided to have some more fun with Chloe and asked a few questions. So, Chloe, did your boss take any steps against you after the trade show? Do you want to tell me something? From her conversations with Marcus, I knew they still met every day at the hotel. I wasn't sure how she could control herself and lie so easily. It was almost funny to watch her reaction. By now, I could even tell when she was about to lie. She calmly answered, "No, nothing at all. It's weird, because we both act like nothing happened." And it's true. Nothing actually happened. He's been a total professional, and we rarely even talk because we're so busy with our projects. I just sat there with a smirk, still amazed that the mother of my children could lie to me so easily. That night, I released the last of the anger that was still bubbling inside me. I challenged her and took full advantage of her. "Oh my God, Ethan, what came over you? You are a wild man today. I've never seen you so rough," she said. I liked it. What a nightmare, I thought. I knew this would be the last time before everything came out tomorrow, and I was going to take as much as I could from my soon-to-be ex-wife. That afternoon, the sheriff walked into the offices of Viridian Dynamics and demanded to see Mr. Vance. A few moments later, Sheriff Clark entered Vance's office and handed him an envelope. "Mr. Vance, you have been served." A second later, he was alone in his large office, holding the envelope as fear took over his body. After he read the complaint for the third time, he immediately told his secretary to invite Julian to his office. While his secretary was calling, Marcus had just been served his complaint by the same sheriff. He hurried into Vance's office, and they both stood there, shocked and confused. "What the hell? How did this happen, Julian? If my wife finds out about this, I'll be ruined." "It's your fault. You told me this would never get out. You fix this, Julian, or I swear I will destroy you and your family. You understand?" Vance was not a man to be messed with. A ruthless man who had worked his way to the top of this multi-billion-dollar organization and had no intention of giving it up. Marcus ran out of his office and waited for the elevator to go down to the 13th floor to talk to Chloe. As he walked down the hallway toward her office, he saw the sheriff coming from her direction. He ran into her office and saw her sitting at her desk, tears streaming down her face. She was crying uncontrollably and couldn't speak. Ethan had just destroyed her world, just as she had destroyed his months ago. It took her over an hour to calm down enough to speak. "Chloe, what the hell happened? How did he know about all of us? What do you mean, all of us?" "I was just served with divorce papers." "What do you mean?" "Vance and I have also been served and are facing a civil lawsuit. We don't know what evidence he has, but it must be more than those two pictures you saw. You need to force Ethan to back down. Otherwise, Vance will destroy us and my family." "Oh my God, this is horrible. Go to him and make him understand. Do whatever you need to do to stop this." "Go home and deal with this. Call me tonight." Chloe packed her things, still shaking, and drove home. The man she loved, her husband, was going to divorce her. She didn't want a divorce. She really loved Ethan. But somehow, she found she needed the sexual stimulation and couldn't stop. She had to make Ethan understand that she couldn't lose him over this. She returned to an empty house. The girls were at Ethan's sister's house, as they were every afternoon. She called Sarah and asked if she could keep the children overnight. Sarah, of course, was happy to have the girls. Chloe took a shower, fixed her hair and makeup, and waited for Ethan to return from work at 7. She heard the garage door open and nervously waited for him to enter. "Hi, Chloe. I didn't expect to see you tonight. I assumed you'd be with Marcus." "Oh, wait. He's married and has kids. This might be awkward. Ethan, please, let's talk." She took his hand and sat him down on the sofa. She looked surprisingly put together. He expected this and continued to play the game. "Ethan, as you know, I was served today. But you have to understand, I don't want a divorce. I need you and I love you. I won't sign these papers. Marcus means nothing to me. Yes, we had sex, but it wasn't love. I just needed it. And I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. I promise." "Oh, you promise? I think I can trust you now. So yeah, I'll just forget everything and we can go back to normal. I said with a loving smile. Chloe grabbed me and kissed me. Thank you, baby. I love you so much. I'm so glad you forgive me. I will never lie to you again. This was a surprise. I was sure she would understand. I was being sarcastic. And I pulled back and pushed her away. You're crazy. I can never trust you again. After all your lies and deceit, there is nothing left. I gave you so many chances, but you continue to lie, to fool me, and to ruin our lives. I know all about your daily hotel, lunch meetings with your bosses. Did you really think I would take you back after what you did? Have you ever thought about the harm you're doing to our girls? There's no way I can just close my eyes to this. But you have to. And why are you going after Vance and Marcus? Well, your buddies are also your CEO and a senior manager of a multi-billion-dollar company. After I'm done with you, I'm going to need money to properly support the girls, considering they're partly responsible for destroying our marriage and my life. I'm going to destroy them too. I intend to destroy their families, harm them financially, and use them the way they used you. Chloe had never heard Ethan talk like that. She had never seen him so angry and focused. The gravity of the situation finally dawned on her, and she realized she was no longer in control. All she could do now was beg. With tears in her eyes, on her knees, she held Ethan's legs and begged for forgiveness. Ethan felt a pang of pity for her, but his rage overcame this weakness. He carried her to the sofa and, in a soothing voice, addressed Chloe as if she were a child. Listen to me, Chloe. You need to pack a bag and go to your mom's house for a few nights. Find a lawyer, and then we can set up a meeting to discuss everything. In the meantime, a word to the wise. I advise you to stay away from Julian and Marcus. Things are about to get ugly. Later that evening at her mom's house, she explained that she and Ethan had gotten into a little fight and needed some space. At 12 a.m., she called Marcus on his cell phone. Marcus asked her to wait and quickly connected Julian to a three-way call. Julian, are you here? Chloe, are you there? Yes, we are here. Vance began the conversation. So, Chloe, did you manage to persuade him to drop the lawsuits and the divorce? In fact, he kicked me out and warned me to be careful. Vance shouted into the phone. Jesus Christ, Marcus, what have you done? Chloe, I swear I will have you and Marcus killed if my family finds out about this. I don't care what you do, but make it stop. Chloe cried. I can't do anything. He's out of control and won't listen to anything I say. He doesn't even answer my calls or texts. Vance spoke up. Marcus, you need to fix this. Make an appointment with Ethan. Have him meet us at a bar somewhere, someplace loud. The noisier, the better. Chloe, you will be there too. Ask him to drop the lawsuit in front of us. If he says no, then you and I, Marcus, will explain how harmful it will be for him and his family if he doesn't back down. I have people who fix things like this, and I won't hesitate to use them. Marcus, do you understand? Yes, Mr. Vance. Chloe, you know what you have to do, right? Yes, Mr. Vance. Do it. Make it happen tomorrow afternoon. We don't have time to waste. Vance hung up. Chloe and Marcus stayed on the line for a few more minutes, mulling over the situation. That night, when Ethan heard the recorded call, he wasn't surprised by their desperation and made his own plan. As expected, Marcus called Ethan the next morning and asked for a meeting to discuss a settlement. He suggested meeting in a courtyard at 7 p.m. that same day. Ethan agreed. At 5 p.m., He was in his private investigator's office, preparing. They set him up with the latest noise-canceling recording technology, able to focus on voice frequencies even in the loudest environments. Mr. Evans would also be there, filming the meeting undercover. Ethan entered at 7:15, deliberately making them wait. He saw Chloe and approached the group. "Chloe, I'm surprised to see you here with your boyfriends, but I guess we know where your allegiances lie. Gentlemen, what can I do for you?" Vance spoke first. "Ethan, I'm Julian Vance. I asked for this meeting. Mr. Vance, you look completely different in real life. Those videos don't do you justice. I can't say I'm pleased to meet you." "Yes, that's exactly why we're here. This is Marcus Wills. Marcus, the man who had sex with my wife and destroyed my marriage." "I can't say I'm pleased to meet you either," Vance spoke up. "I don't blame you for your anger. Believe me, if I were you, I don't know what I would do. But we need to discuss something." "Come on, what's on your mind?" said Ethan. "We want you to drop the lawsuits you filed against me, Marcus, and the company." "Funny, that's all?" "Oh, no, sorry. I can't do that. Someone has to pay for taking away the most important thing in my life." Looking at Chloe, he added, "The only woman I have ever loved, and the mother of my children. In sever one, I can't imagine life without her." Chloe began to cry when she realized how she had destroyed the most important things in her life. "What will it take for you to stop all this and bring Chloe back?" "Name your price. First of all, there is no amount of money in the world that could make me take her back. She betrayed my love, my trust, and our children for a party with you two idiots. That will never happen. I will drop the civil and corporate cases under two conditions. Number one, I want $6 million in compensation. Number two, I want to meet both of your wives while Chloe fully admits what she did. If you agree to these two conditions, I will stop everything. Ethan, I will give you $100,000, and you will have to sign an agreement that you will never discuss this with anyone." Vance leaned over and spoke quietly. "I can't put my family through this. If they find out, Ethan, I'll kill you. Chloe told us your entire daily routine. Making you disappear would be a piece of cake. So, let's try again." He was shocked when Ethan smiled and took a sip of his drink. "Well, I can reduce the amount to $5 million, but your families need to know what you did." Vance was dumbfounded. "Ethan, you're writing your own death sentence. Think about it carefully. Drop the charges and take Chloe back. It was just a fling. We can end this." Ethan took out his phone, sent 2 text messages, opened his email, and sent the email he had prepared. All videos, images, and text messages were now on their way to all of Chloe's friends, her family, and work colleagues. The 2 text messages Ethan sent were to the courier sitting in front of Julian's and Marcus's houses, awaiting his instructions. The message said, "Deliver the package." Within minutes, Mrs. Vance and Mrs. Vey. Wills now had duplicate 3-ring binders containing all the photos, videos, messages, and evidence of their husband's affair. Vance began to get angry, shouting at Ethan's inattention. "What the? Ethan, I'm talking to you! What are you gonna say? Will you drop the charges?" "My answer to you, Julian, Marcus, and my wife is, go to hell." Just then, Julian's and Marcus's phones rang. Both their wives were on the line. I saw Vance's face turn red, and he looked at me with murderous eyes. I saw that Marcus was in shock. Tears were welling up in his eyes. Chloe looked at me and asked what was going on. I replied, Check your email in a few minutes. I think you'll understand." Vance hung up the phone with his wife, pointed his finger at my chest, and shouted, "You're dead, Ethan. I'm going to cut your throat and watch you die like a dog." He turned and left. Marcus looked at me and simply said, "Why? Why did you do this to me?" I was amazed that he could ask something so stupid. "Really? You used my wife, the love of my life and the mother of my twin girls, every day for the last 7 months, set her up with your CEO for a threesome, and you're surprised someone would strike back? Everything I sent to your sweet wife was for her benefit, so she would know what a degenerate predator you are, and how you have ruined so many lives." Chloe's phone started ringing as her sister, brother, and aunt called her. Now they had all seen the videos and photos, and they had a lot of questions. She said she didn't know what they were talking about, and then opened her email to see what I had sent. Her jaw dropped, and she looked at me angrily. "How could you do this to me? You've made it too easy, baby. I really do love you, but it's over between us. And after I give this audio recording of our meeting to the police and social services, my lawyer is almost certain I will get full custody of the girls, and you will be lucky to avoid jail. Sorry, kitten." Yes, kitten. That's my pet name for you. The one you shared with your bed buddy. I know it all, princess, and now you must pay for your actions. To avoid becoming public knowledge, Viridian Dynamics settled the lawsuit by paying Ethan $3 million. Julian Vance was suspended as CEO and fired without severance for violating the morals clause in his contract. He lost more than $11 million in stock options and a $6 million severance agreement. Vance is also serving a 6-year sentence for conspiracy to commit murder, along with several other charges. His wife divorced him while he was in prison and crucified him financially. This news made Ethan feel a little better. He even smiled for the first time in months. Mrs. Wills also divorced Marcus, leaving him with no money, no home, and no child support. He was fined $2 million in a civil trial for conspiracy, adultery, and loss of affection in Ethan and Chloe's marriage. He lost his job and was now working as a day laborer. Ethan was still enjoying his revenge when he heard about Marcus's fate, forced to file for bankruptcy, living under an overpass. This also gave Ethan some pleasure. Chloe was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but with Ethan's help, the sentence was reduced to 2 years of house arrest and 4 years of probation for conspiracy. She lost her fight for the children. Ethan now has full custody. Because of the evidence, she was not successful in her divorce settlement. The house belonged to Ethan, so she had nowhere to live. Before being fired, she made the same amount as Ethan, so there was no child support. Chloe fell into a deep depression and now lives in her mother's basement. The family turned on her for what she did, causing her to lose visitation rights. The email I sent revealed a dark side of Chloe that no one recognized. It had the desired effect and completely destroyed her support network. No one can seem to forgive Chloe, including herself. She is on medication due to 4 suicide attempts and has been in and out of mental hospitals for the past 7 months. Ethan now spends all his time with the girls. The settlement allows him to devote his life to his children. The children have not seen their mother since the suicide attempts, but they have a strong support group in Ethan's sister and mother. The girls will be fine. Revenge was sweet, but it would never fully heal Ethan's wounds. He still loved Chloe and forgave her, but he would never forget. The girls kept him busy, which prevented him from feeling lonely. But because of the betrayal, it will be years before Ethan can love and trust again. It's amazing how little things can have such a far-reaching impact on so many people. Be careful. Subscribe to the Emerald City Insider so your other half doesn't cheat on you. And go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 19, don't even think about listening.